can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. See you again.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Owlet Season 3.9. An exciting matchup on this Monday night. It's SpongeBob Mac and Cheese versus the Blues Clues Bandits. A flashback to the early 2000s childhood right there. I'm Corbeck, joined by Erish Gigal, a Thonic Mesopotamian deity and sometimes caster, alongside Samter, who will be handling our production. And Erish Gigal, this is an exciting matchup tonight. What do you make of these two teams?
You know, these two teams are sitting right in the middle of our standings right now, and they've put they've made some really good matchups against some of our top teams in the tournament so far. In the past, SpongeBob Mac and Cheese took SBB to, I think it was 5 maps, could have been 6, and Blues Clues Bandits also has been right near the top of the standings for a majority of the time, except they were only able to take 1 map off of Storybook Villains. I think this will be a really, if not a close match, then at least a really well contested one tonight. And I know each of the players on these teams have shown a lot of potential so far.
It seems a relatively fair assessment, I guess, given their relative rankings, kind of both mid-table squads as far as things go, 4 and 5, I think, respectively. Looks like we're just waiting for a player to hop back into the lobby here before we get started. Our first map of the night will be Lijiang Tower, so getting us rolling on Koth. Now, I feel like, Erish Giga, you probably have a better understanding of what these teams are more likely to run here. So what do you think we can expect as we come into this first Koth map?
Well, that's a good question. I haven't seen nearly as many matches as I would have liked to so far this season, but from what I've seen, that's a great question. I'm not entirely sure. What have you seen so far?
Well, I feel like Koth maps, Lijiang Tower in particular, right? Which I think we could probably agree, you and I, is one of everybody's like favorite King of the Hill map, right? Like you've got that hardcore little Ilios crowd hanging out there, but Lijiang Tower is a map that favors flyers, even a post-nerf Echo you could see here. Pharah, of course, remains a perfectly valid choice on a couple of these points, and to a certain extent it favors dive tanks, but even as I say that, it looks like we are loading up here, and it's going to be Control Center first, which, as you know, Erish, is very much a brawl-oriented map, right? One of the most brawly maps in the game.
Oh, for sure. And this is one of the maps that you're most likely to see either a Symmetra, a Junkrat, or both in. And I think that, we'll probably see a lot of high DPS heroes. You often get a Reaper or a Junkrat. Seems, as I mentioned, that both of these teams are going out the Symmetra.
True to form,
Yeah, we get Lucio, Baptiste, you see that a lot on this map. May, also a common pick. It'll be interesting to see how SpongeBob Mac and Cheese is able to deal with Jack's Maywalls going into this fight.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the Maywall can be such a problem, especially if it can be used to kind of separate off the Reinhardt. It looks like we're getting an early engagement here in the server room. There comes that Maywall early on. It actually pins the tank right out. They'll push straight forward there into Goliath, trying to bring him down. There goes the Immortality Field. There goes the main tank. There's 3-4 picks actually in the midst of that fight. Absolute destruction. 037 striking back there at the end, but too little too late on the back end of that.
Yeah, it seems like they really weren't. Let's check.
There it goes again. Speaking of Maywall, unfortunately though, Goliath swings for the fences this time, manages to take Ares out of contention, and now on the back foot are the Mac and Cheese here, getting pushed right back across the point. And well, it looks of it, Ares, they're only going to get about 6% of the tick.
Yeah, that was a very quick turner. It's like they saw that one coming and were able to really, change up their strategy going into it.
Yeah, looks like we're getting some good spam fire here from Boothpack, who will unleash this tire early on, straight down the gut with the tire. The teleport coming in as well. Unfortunately, no joy to be had. Goliath now in a lot of trouble there, getting CC'd and pushed on, but the rest of the team rallying behind their main tank. After his death and getting a couple of picks, they'll back up here towards the point, but still, the weight of bodies very much favoring them. You see Jack push forward there for a second, gets the Maywall up the window now, coming out here as well from Sage, just buying them a little bit of time, trying to get Goliath back onto the point. Booth more than happy to play off that window. They'll wait now and move up into the service room for the engagement. They do have a grab coming as a window is thrown out on the other side by Madison. Now the pressure coming forward. The sim wall is up as well. That's more than enough room for Goliad to operate. He'll get in there right away, and the kills start going fast and furious there at the start, and they will hold on to that.
Yes, that was a really great kite, but the remainder of SpongeBob Mac and Cheese team to really regroup using the Baptiste window to make these Blue Cruise Bandits really take a break and not push like they wanted to.
Well, Goliad getting slapped around on the front line, but he'll go in for the charge there. Stunned out of it. Great little bit of play right there, actually, as another Symmetra wall comes up. Unfortunately, probably not enough to buy them too much space. The attackers will finally get through the door here. Out comes the Fire Strike early on, but no joy to be had by that. And the two teams just kind of playing this very cagey. There comes the tire from Booth. The second tire, more luck than the first. Yes, he gets Chuzzle right there. Nikolai already down, and Ares out for the count as well. And they'll surge back up to those doors and hold on to them tight. They now have basically no percentage left. I think this one's probably over.
Yeah. Looks like that's what it's going to be.
Well, what do you make of that?
I think it really has to do with SpongeBob Mac and Cheese really just not being prepared for what Blue's Clues Plan is. Sorry, other way around. What Blue's Clues Plan is not really being prepared for what SpongeBob Mac and Cheese were going to run on that map. They weren't prepared for the May at first. And, well, they weren't prepared for the spam damage from Boot Pack. They weren't prepared for the aggressiveness of Goliad. And Oof did a really great job of using speed and heal amps at the right times, making sure to keep the rest of the team up when they needed to be up, and getting them out when they need to get out.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Lucio kind of in a controversial place, but still down here in the lower rank, still a very valuable character, and probably one of the kind of just better beginner or starter supports, as it were, and showing his worth right there. You see Goliad looking for the opportunity to slam in, gets a little knocked around there. Unfortunately, Nikolai cannot confirm the hook. Goliad actually just taking this fight to point. 037 is here as well, but his Boot Pack striking early takes down the Zenyatta in the back line. Madison, unfortunately, not able to turn it around, but now Jack and Ares strike back just as quickly, putting their team back in it. They don't need a Zenyatta. Nobody needs Discord Orbs, apparently. Even as I say that, though, Jack hit by a nasty hand from mid, and Nikolai basically pushing the door to the point by himself. Jack is res back in. It's a great play from Ares on the back line. He pays for it with his life, but still he'll trade out two more than happily right there, as they'll D-Mac the Diva and go in for the finish on Such. And that should secure him a first point hold.
And because SpongeBob wasn't able to get that all the way, it's going to be Blue's Clues Bandits with the first cap.
Yeah, indeed. They're playing it quite interestingly as well, and you'll see, I think Oof is swapped over to Brig. You reckon that's a good choice there?
It's not going to be very good against this pharmacy, I'll tell you that. But it might help a bit with the Wrecking Ball. I don't think it's a great choice.
Oh, Madison just burned down there by 037 over the top, but Chuzzle, meanwhile, getting some big picks on the other side, knocks 037 straight out of the sky, plucks the wings of the Echo right there, and now going for a finish on the Diva as well. Unfortunately, that's the second time Such struggling a little bit here, Erish, to get any value out of that Diva.
Yeah, just what I was talking about. The pharmacy was able to just take out the supports right away, getting the Brigitte and the Zenyatta right at the beginning of the fight, and then coming back to get the Echo and everybody else. You know, SpongeBob Mac and Cheese are really going to have to figure out a solution for this pharmacy. Because right now what they have isn't doing it.
Yeah, they'll take a look here as they begin to move forward. Ares there, just rolling in, kind of hoping, I think, to just get back to safety there and set up a slam if they can come in. 037 starting things off, but it'll be initial mine there from Goliad. That'll trigger the barrage, but Chuzzle's picked out of the air by Oof. That's something you don't see very often as a clone comes in from Jack. The mines go down, and now they might even get a Diva knocked off here as well. No, the clone will lose the clone, but it'll come back. Oh no, disaster! The worst possible world, right? Not sure exactly what happened at the tail end of that.
Madison's trying to bring this one back.
Oh, he got
big boop right there, sends him off the edge, and now Booppack in some significant danger here as Madison goes for another one. Why not?
The point really boiling around the point right here. Aries just trying to get back on. Can't quite do it. Goalie had 2 kills to their name, but it's not enough. Chuzzle here still largely uncontested. Diva bomb in. Oh, Chuzzle, amazing play to avoid the bomb. Unfortunately, Jack does go down, but one of the flyers still in control, though not for very long. What a sleep there by Sage to turn it around. This fight's still boiling, Airs. They're not giving this
Still
one
even. Yeah, and I was going to mention at the start that, this fight was really saved by the Diva Matrix at the beginning. Cutting out the barrage and letting Oof get that kill onto the Para, and it seems that still holds true. They were able to hold out in the long fight, which is exactly what you need to do with the Papa. It's built for those longer fights.
Indeed, well, you saw Boof there playing on the outside edge now, just trying to pick off the Mercy, and they'll get him. A good tag team effort there by the DPS as 037 goes in for the kill. Boof nearly goes off the edge of the map, but will hold strong, and they'll take Aries out of the fight right away. Goliad more than happy to roll back to the comfort of his team on the back of that.
Yeah, I'm really liking SpongeBob Mac and Cheese's swaps over to the McCree and the Baptiste. They're really helping this team right now. They're making sure that the pharmacy isn't able to do nearly as much.
Oh, Jack there finishing off his opposite number with the beam. Now that's a good play and a half, and Chuzzle dies just as quickly. Boofpack on the anti-air patrol there doing a really good job. Unfortunately, Chuzzle will get rezzed right back into it. They do have the high noon if they choose to use it, but it'll be the barrage to initiate. Immortality Field was used and taken out there, so Sage does not have that tool in. Might regret it right there as Chuzzle gets a deep snipe there with the rocket to take him out. Boof strikes back immediately, trying to keep things going, investing the high noon, and now Jack has cloned for Gita here, getting this rally out, just providing mountains of sustain. They're fighting up against a cloned Hammond right there, though, and a Diva Bomb in as well from Such. Could have gotten a little bit more value out of it. Jack does go down. 037 continuing to harvest right here. 037 diving in with the beam, gets another one. 037 still going, has the Diva in their sights, and with a little bit of help there from the flashbang of Boofpack, will hold on tight.
Those were 2 excellent uses of copy, both to keep their teams alive through the long fight, but 037's was later and better.
Indeed, it was. Boofpack there playing off the window, just getting a couple of shots in early on. Just fighting this one out. You'll see there the shots coming in immediately on the ball. Can't really get much value out of it. Leo there getting that damage in, goes in for another drop and tries to get one more. Goliad doing the majority of the work right here, though, getting the major picks. Boofpack unleashes the high noon. You can barely even hear it in the midst of all this chaos, but he does get a pick out of it. Now they'll continue here. Symmetra going in hard, trying to get something, but it does look like it's so long. Good night. Blues Clues Bandits take the win.
And that was a really close final map there. I'm quite sad that it didn't go to a third, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. They played quite tight, at least on that map. The first, I think, that we could agree, maybe a little bit one-sided, all things considered. That's a great play there by Madison. Doing good work. I should apologize. Apparently, 037 is not 037. It's Leo. That's what I get for reading my screen the right way up. So won't be doing that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it now. It's one of those. It's very Da Vinci Code-esque. We just gotta flip some things, and
Sure.
but it all makes sense. I feel like maybe actually that Da Vinci Code reference is way too out of the league for this age group. But hey, we'll go with it anyway.
I've actually never seen that. I was around when it was a thing, but
That's fair. That's fair. It wasn't very good, I'll be honest. But anyway, back to the focus on Overwatch here. So, pretty convincing, I guess, first map performance there by the Blues Clues Bandits. What do you think went wrong though with SpongeBob at the tail end of that defense, where they kind of lost control of the point?
I think you got the teams a bit mixed around on that, but I think what went wrong for Blues Clues Bandits there is they seemed to not really adapt as quickly as they needed to. SpongeBob Mac and Cheese came out with some really good adjustments. Even though Blues Clues Bandits, they won the first fight on Control Center, they got most of the way to the entire point cap on Night Market, but SpongeBob Mac and Cheese, they just kept adapting to the way that Blues Clues Bandits were playing. And what it meant is that they were able to come back into these fights and really take charge when they needed to. They were able to deal with the pharmacy that was giving them so much problem on Night Market by swapping over to the McCree, swapping over to the Baptiste, using the Diva Matrix more effectively. And that really saved them that entire point. It would have gone to map 3 without that. And the first point, they identified what cost them the first fight with the May wall, and they adjusted. They played around it differently, and they pushed in more aggressively, more together as a team. And they just stuffed the tropes to make sure that the May wasn't able to do anything.
Indeed. Well, here we are going into Rialto. A kind of an interesting map and one of my sort of personal favorites, but I know a lot of people don't share that opinion. But first point,
one of my favorites too.
Yeah, it's a good map. It's a lot of fun, actually. But it does have its defensive choke points, right? It's got kind of the corners of death there at the beginning of the first point, which can be so scary, and then the bridge on the second point as well can really make for a challenging attack for any team. And we'll see now, it looks like a Ball Sigma coming out here, maintaining that Chuzzle Jack double flyer combo. Meanwhile, on the other side, really Goliad here switching over to the Winston is the only change. But what do you make of a defensive Winston in this day and age?
I think it depends a lot on how coordinated the Winston and the Zarya are together with this composition. In addition to with their dive DPS, which in this case is going to be that Echo. As long as they're able to rotate their bubbles well and coordinate, it should work out. The Winston has a lot of survivability. I think we're going to have to see how they play it.
Well, let's see if it's double bubble, toil, and trouble, but it's actually Chuzzle here on the high ground, getting a couple of shots in initially on the Pharah, just trying to force them off the top balcony there of the hotel, and having some success in doing that. Gets a couple of shots in on Boop as well, but Ares there, the one in real danger, has to play off that back health pack. Doesn't really have any other option, as Nikolai here is just on cart duty, trying to push it around the sort of second corner of death. And he'll keep going forward, eats a little bit right there. Not quite getting the value that he wanted out of that slam was Ares, and Ares actually gets anti-nated for their troubles as well. Still Goliad getting a bit beat up on the front line. He'll peel off, go for the big health pack, but it's Leo getting the early strike there on Chuzzle. Leo not giving him any room to rest, takes out Hungry Dude right away. And Such takes out Jack, and that puts an end to the attack.
Yeah, Leo Dude, Hungry Dude coming in for... I don't remember who it was, but seems to be providing the mercy pocket just as well, and it's really made this a bit of an impasse at first because Goliath is using that ability that we talked about earlier. He hasn't died, which is really important when it comes to Winston.
Yeah, and we see it right there. He kind of jumped in already much damage.
Yeah, and got right back out. And Sage has already built up mana boost. And that's going to be really important going into this next fight. They can use it on the Winston, they can use it on the Echo copy.
Well, Leo continues to win these sort of dogfights up in the air. Gets res back into it, though, does Chuzzle, so they'll continue to fight here. They are getting good value off the card here. Nikolai does take an anti-nade right there, gets immediately pressured by Goliad. Goliad going in, trying to get on the sniper kill, will get Jack in that primal rage. Jumps right back out and gets hit by the sleep dart. Will not quite be able to recover there. Bupak here getting pressured out from underneath the bridge, has no choice but to kind of back up as Nikolai comes surging forward. Such trying to hold on there, but really the Zarya kind of slightly outmatched as Goliad finally dies. Still, Nikolai will go down at the end too, so they will hold, but kind of by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, it was very back and forth. It was even trades all around. but because the cart is now close to the end of the point, it's gonna favor the defense. And you know, Silent Marine's been compiling some stats from a number of matches, and so far for Rialto, Blue's Clues Bandits are 1-0, and SpongeBob Mac and Cheese are 0-1.
There you go.
Yeah, so maybe that'll hold true because this defense is really good for Blue's Clues Bandits.
Oof gets taken out early on right there. Now Chuzzle playing more aggressively on this Spara. Has the room to operate. There is a bit of a problem here, I think, with these mines. Not really sure quite what to do. Both teams sort of play around them, looking a little confused. Chuzzle going for those deep rockets again. Jack still not really able to get the picks that they want on this Widowmaker. Gets slightly pressured by the Winston there and does fall back. And Goliad making their presence felt somewhere else now. Back on the cart. Scooch gets lifted up in the air. That's not a bad effort there from the Flux, but unfortunately it won't connect. Aries knocking him back now as well. Still these bodies on the point here for Blue's Clues Bandits, not giving this one up. Chuzzle does get a pick, but it's far too little too late as the rest of the team gets wiped around them, and 10 seconds left on the clock, so do or die time here, really.
For sure. Boofpack's High Noon there really saved that hold. And it'll be a large question to see if SpongeBob Mac and Cheese can even touch.
Well, they will try and make a valiant effort of it. Chuzzle rezzed early again as Leo takes down Nikolai on the point, coming back in on the Winston, just trying to contest. There's a Zenyatta just getting fried. Oh, Mercy Heal being trying to keep him alive. A barrage comes in from Chuzzle, but they won't get the value out of it they need as Oof and Bootpack combined just rack up those kills. The rest of the team is there, and it's a dominant first point hold at the bridge.
Yeah, that you couldn't have said it better. That hold was just what Blue's Clues Bandits wanted. It holds them right under the bridge. That's the best place to stop this cart. It's the easiest place to stop this cart in the entire map. It's really the one big spot that teams have a hard time getting through. I've seen a lot of first point holds. I've seen a lot of third point holds. I've seen a lot of full caps with this map, but that spot right there, it almost always comes down to the wire.
And it did kind of come down to the wire right there. Unfortunately, just didn't work out in favor of SpongeBob Mac and Cheese, much to their chagrin, I'm sure. But they will, reset, go back to the drawing board here. Nikolai coming out on the Zarya, and it'll be Aries on the Hammond again. So a slight change there. They've kind of given up on the idea of running these double flyers. But, I mean, you get the feeling, Arish, that Leo has just been oppressive on this Echo.
Sure.
A really masterful performance.
For sure. Leo's Echo has been really good, not just in getting those individual backline picks onto supports, but also in how Leo has used the copy, in how Leo has focused down out of position players no matter what position what role they're in. It's been very effective against SpongeBob.
Well, Jack trying to get a couple of early shots, but again, Leo there claims the early victory in the aerial war, and they'll do it one more time. Hungry Dude cut down as well after going in for the res, and that's a sight that's been all too typical here on Rialto as Leo takes out the other TPS as well. Chuzzle in serious danger is dived on right there, and Leo will continue the killing spree, going for the Zarya on the high ground. Goliad comes in for the assist, and that's just a clean blow through of those first two defensive points, and it's a desperate rally here from SpongeBob.
An immediate 3K from Leo. I mean, what is SpongeBob Mac and Cheese gonna do to contest this Echo? Jack clearly isn't getting it done.
No, they try and get the Discord on him as well, but they're not quite able to do it. Leo contesting above the bridge there, gets Chuzzle again! Chuzzle just not able to win these fights as Aries quickly follows their teammate into the grave. The res does come in, but Leo is just an unstoppable murder machine. The Terminator right there on that Echo, and it will terminate. Well, I was going to say it'll terminate right there because Blue's Clues Bandits wins this map in a very convincing fashion.
Yeah, I think we've got ourselves a real match on our hands, because with how the first point of Lijiang Tower went and how this map went, it looks like each team knows how to completely dominate the map.
Yeah, it really is. It is honestly some really savage echo play coming out there from Leo, and I think you're right. Jack on the Widowmaker just not able to kind of slow it down. I guess I wonder at what point in time do you try another hit scan? You know, maybe
right.
Widow's
I
hard.
was thinking, you know, Widow's great. Jack's getting a lot of damage in. You know, you saw how Jack was on fire at different points in that map there, but you know, if you're not getting the pick on the Echo, you really need to just swap over to that McCree, an Ashe, Soldier, something that can pressure that Echo out, make sure that she's not able to get the same production that Leo's been getting with the Echo this entire, you know, these last two maps.
Yeah, it kind of it's kind of starting to feel like we're getting to the point now where you almost start to have to team build around how you deal with Leo's Echo. And that's not to take away from the rest of the Blues Clues Bandits. I mean, you know, to your credit, you talked about how Winston can still be really effectively used, and Goliad played spectacularly on the Winston there, both on the defense and the offense. Really a good coordinated dive. And then Boofpack, we haven't been saying the name as much, but it has been doing a very respectable job there on the McCree as well, just kind of keeping things together and getting crucial picks. But
he's been regularly getting 2K, 3K fights, which has really been, you know, a thorn in SpongeBob Mac and Cheese side, because, you know, if they're trying to get away from Leo, Boofpack's right around the other corner, it seems, almost every fight.
Yeah, indeed. It does kind of feel that way, doesn't it? He's doing a good job of taking advantage of the space, I think, that is being made. And you barely even need the hit scan counter the way that Leo has been just dogging Farah this entire time.
Yeah, I think if SpongeBob Mac and Cheese is going to want to take control of this match again, I think they're going to want to try to go for some more close combat, more, you know, more tightly packed maps where they can really keep Blues Clues Bandits players confined to a certain space. I'm not sure that Eichenwald's the best pick for that, unless they can push it to third point. Because third point will be great against what?
It will be. But I mean, unfortunately, these first 2 points here on Eichenwald are very kind of flyer oriented, right? Especially the first point is kind of one of the sort of traditional standards from the very earliest days of Apex and Overwatch League, where you kind of had a pharmacy play around this clock tower. Now, I don't think we're going to see that particular. We'll probably see, and it looks like it's confirmed, Leo coming back out here on the Echo with Bootpack maintaining the McCree. And I guess at a certain point in time, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But Jack coming out on the May. Now, what do you make of that one?
I think that one's probably going to be a swap. But it can work. It's one way to deal with the tight choke on point A. It's sometimes very difficult to get through with a lot of spam. And if Jack can hit those shots on the Echo, it is an effective way of getting the Echo out of fight, and it can deal with the Winston as well.
The weight of the world here on the poncho and shoulders of Chuzzle on that McCree. Pretty much the only hard counter here to the devastating effect that Leo has been having on the team. And already the Foxes are kind of in the hen house right there. Aries, Jack, Nikolai, Madison, they're all getting taken out in rapid succession. They got far in there, but then they just got ripped apart. A combined assault from the ground and the sky.
And the thing they did at the end there is the one thing you really don't want to do against what Blues Clues Bandits are running. You don't want to hide all of your players into one single confined space, because then Leo can just throw in the sticky bombs and it will hit everybody. And then Goliath can go in with the Tesla cannon and same thing.
Window coming out early on here. They're trying to get some sort of value out of it, as Jack will be an early pick. Madison has already used the Immortality Field, and we've seen that gone as well. Leo there popping the ult on top of the ult. Gets a good grab. That'll just trap Aries. Nothing the Reinhardt can do, but he brought down as Boofback here getting on the action, picking up big kills. and they'll just unceremoniously end that push with a couple of well-placed ults.
On the other hand, yeah, you know what? I was looking at the wrong team there. I was gonna say that SpongeBob Mac and Cheese has more ultimates coming into this fight, but no, it's Blue's Clues Bandits with 3 to SpongeBob Mac and Cheese's 2. So this will be hard for SpongeBob Mac and Cheese to really deal with.
Well, Goliath getting in early there with some of the cleave damage. The Valkyrie is out here from Oof. They'll invest the sound barrier here as well. The grab comes in shortly thereafter. Such got that one out early. Chuzzle got a strike, but it's Bootpack with 3 to push it right back at the front door.
God.
Anything you can do, I can do better right there from the McCree on the side of the Blues Clues Bandits.
Seriously, I mean, they get 2 early picks on Blues Clues Bandits, taking out Goliath early, and then Chuzzle with the High Noon picking out one more, but then Bootpack comes back and gets a, what was that, a 4K or a 5K?
Yeah, it's big. It's big indeed. And they're back in one more time. They're going at it. 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, so they do have a little bit of time here as the window does come out early from Madison, and they'll use that to just try and gain some room. Ares here actually in a good position to hold on to the point. Even as I say that, though, a little bit of the cast and curse immediately annihilated. Chuzzle now, though, making their presence felt on the McCree, trying to get a little bit of vengeance for last time as Leo drops the sound barrier, quickly gained there from the clone, and they'll just corner him and bring him down. Nothing much to be done about it.
Yeah, and that was a really good window by Madison, but they needed to keep rushing a lot quicker there because Arez got low very quickly and they just weren't able to get around the corner in time before Arez just got completely melted. But they have 4 ults here if they can make it through this.
What a monster of an anti-nade to start things off. Jack goes for the Death Blossom in the back line, will get nothing out of it. And once more, it's the deadly Leo there over the top, combined with Goliath to clean up those kills. Madison barely escaping with their life. 26 seconds left on the clock, and they are running out of time, and they don't seem to have very many answers.
Yeah. That being said, they have 3 ults. Blues Clues Bandits are gonna have 3 of their own, but if Hungry Dude can build up that meat, they should be able to win this fight.
Well, here comes the push. Chuzzle going up for the High Noon. Great positioning there. Doesn't get anything out of it. Might have gotten some damage on the back end, but Ares and Nikolai strike early. Good shatter coming out from Ares. Pushes forward onto Goliath, just trying to confirm the kill. The beat does come out in time there. Hungry Dude will keep his team sustained in this fight, and just like you said, Ares, they should secure this first point, but it was not an easy task.
Definitely not. I think, like you said, that was really good positioning by Chuzzle on that High Noon. It got just enough damage in on Such to make sure that Rosario was taken out right at the beginning of the fight. So they didn't have that extra protection, they didn't have that extra.
I think Chuzzle and Bootback stunned each other right there with their respective High Noons. But it's all about Goliath in the primal rage right now, trying to juggle a Baptiste. I think he was hoping to knock off the edge of the map, couldn't quite make it work. As Leo drops into the midst of the enemy team with a Death Blossom, we'll claim Ares and Nikolai there in clone form. Just going to show you that Echo ult is really still something. Nerfs be damned.
For sure. I'm surprised they haven't nerfed it even further with how we're seeing Leo handle it. I think Leo's gotten at least 1 ult every copy.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And you know, nobody send the tape to Jeff Kaplan. Echo players would be devastated if they were bouncing off this particular match. Goliath returning up to the high ground and regrouping with the team, and they're confident in that hold. Jack here advancing behind the shield of Ares, just trying to take away this high ground position, and Bootpack does go down, but he took Madison out before they went, and that's a bit of a problem there as the roles have sort of reversed. Ares now looking down from the high ground as Such cleans up Nikolai. Nikolai lost the neck to Leo right there. Now the DPS of the tank with the Lucio kind of just stranded on the high ground as Goliath jumps in. Goliath able to do some damage, might actually out here, but nope. Gets out one more time. Chuzzle pops the High Noon to no value whatsoever, which is a bit of a loss right there.
Yeah, I was going to say this was a great positioning. I was going to say they were in a great position going into this fight with High Noon very close to Super Blossom, but then they just waste the Noon for seemingly no reason. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get this point much further, if at all.
They've divided their forces here right now, and they're getting conquered as a result. Chuzzle and Jack just cleaned up by Leo right there, and they do take Echo out of the equation, but it feels like too little too late. Ares actually just running for cover, gets killed by the Primal Rage. Goliath drops that with 20 seconds left. Somebody has to touch the card. Jack trying to teleport in, does have the Death Blossom if they choose to use it. There's a window up as well, but he'll double back and go for Goliath. Now that's a big anti-nade into that grab. Jack still has the Death Blossom. I don't think he got a chance to use it before he died, or he might have done it. I think it just got canceled out right there. It doesn't matter. Leo holding on to the card, not giving up any ground at all. Ares desperately trying to battle forward, will not make it work. And a final clone Death Blossom there just to seal the deal and secure that early second point defense.
And that fight was entirely on the back of the Ana.
Yes, it was mighty anti-nade. It was very good.
Yeah, and Sage has been hitting huge anti-nades this entire map. But not just that. Oof went down at the very beginning of that fight, or rather the end of the previous fight. So as SpongeBob Mac and Cheese were coming back into the fight, they were taking a 6v5. And Sage had to carry the heals all by themselves. And they held it through it. You know, they maybe lost one person that fight, if that. And I think that, you know, SpongeBob Mac and Cheese is going to have to find some answer to either Blue's Clues Bandits' support line or to Leo, because those are the two things that are really killing them right now. Because they've been dealing with Goliath sometimes, they've been dealing with Booth Pack sometimes, and they've been dealing with Such, but they haven't been dealing with the supports, and they haven't been dealing with Leo.
Yeah, the damage numbers are kind of telling the story here as well. I mean, the tanks in particular are getting out damaged almost 2-1. The SpongeBob tanks are really struggling here, but I mean, we see Goliath underneath already on the Blue Bandits. They're sectioning off Ares there on the Winston. Ares backing up to the support of the team and will manage to get out of danger right there, but the front gate is open for all intents and purposes. They come over the top there, and Leo gets the early pick on Chuzzle. We've seen this particular bit of tape before, as Hungry Duke gets burned down early on as well. The only difference, a strike back against Booth Pack, but it's immediately canceled out there as he will be rezzed right back into action. Oh no, they're just cleaning him up, pushing him towards the cliff. It's very 300-esque at the end. And Nikolai, the last to die.
Yeah, a lot of people like, you know, claiming 300 as a victory for the Spartans, but they all died in that ravine.
Yeah,
and that's what happened to SpongeBob Mac and Cheese right there.
You know, don't have to be a military genius to see that getting pushed over to the edge of the cliff right there was a bit of a problem. But Leo taking an early bit of chunk damage there will actually just drop back to the cart, and there's not a lot of distance left to cover here for match point. This is very much do or die time for SpongeBob Mac and Cheese. The heat is on, the cheese is boiling.
Pack already has noon.
And they do indeed already have noon, and they're already trying to use it. 4 health. Bufak gets 2. Oh, he's an absolute magician. Somehow he survived that utter madness. The kills just coming in as Goliath cleans up with the Primal Rage. And Blue's Clues Bandits, in a dominant fashion, sweep through on the 3-0.
That, yeah. that was certainly a map.
Yeah, it was certainly a map, and I think we've just the dominant mid-table team right there. I think has kind of been proven to a certain extent by this one. It was a rough outing for SpongeBob Mac and Cheese, but Blue Clues Bandits, you know, looked poised, looked composed, great play, and you can see kind of the numbers were telling the tale right there throughout. But a very solid performance from them tonight.
For sure. I think we're gonna see a lot more from them going into the end of this season and going into playoffs.
Oh, I agree 100%. A team to watch out for, a dark horse candidate there, maybe coming out of the mid-table. I mean, if Leo can continue to play Echo like that, there's some teams that should be taking notes right there. But that will do it for us on tonight's broadcast here from Owlet Season 3.9. Blues Clues Bandits once more taking the 3-0 over SpongeBob Mac and Cheese in a dominant fashion. I've been Corbeck, joined here by Arish Kigal with Samter on the production. Arish, anything you want to get in before we close?
No, just that it was a wonderful time casting with you, and wonderful production by uh, Corbeck, by Samter. Gods, I get your two names mixed up
It's
way
okay.
too often. My bad, but
It's all good.
But this was a wonderful experience. Thank you for having me, and I am looking forward to seeing more from both of these teams. As I think, you know, even if this was a rough match for SpongeBob Mac and Cheese, I think they still showed potential. You know, and I could see them still improving and getting to the place where they can make this a much closer match going forward.
Indeed. Well, it's been a pleasure casting with you as well, Arish. And yes, thank you to our producer, Samter, for handling the production tonight. But that will do it here for Owlet. From all of us here at the Owlet crew, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful evening.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know